The Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, stands as an iconic location both for its historical significance and its paranormal reputation. Opened in 1909, the hotel was built by Freeland Oscar Stanley, a wealthy inventor and entrepreneur known for the Stanley steamer automobile. Stanley constructed the hotel as a luxurious retreat for affluent travelers and people seeking fresh mountain air, particularly those suffering from tuberculosis, an illness Stanley himself overcame after moving to the clear, crisp air of Colorado. Though intended as a place of leisure and health, the Stanley Hotel quickly became renowned for its unexplained phenomena and ghost stories, earning it a reputation as one of the most haunted hotels in the United States. Its ghostly reputation was solidified when Stephen King visited the hotel in 1974, an experience that would inspire his famous horror novel The Shining, which was later adapted into a critically acclaimed film directed by Stanley Kubrick. While Stephen King's stay is perhaps the most famous event associated with the Stanley Hotel, the building has its own long history of ghostly apparitions, mysterious sounds, and unexplained events. Here are some additional details and stories about the Stanley's paranormal lore. In 1974, Stephen King and his wife, Tabitha, decided to spend the night at the Stanley Hotel while on vacation in the Colorado Rockies. When they arrived, the hotel was nearly empty, as it was preparing to close for the winter season. King has described the eerie feeling of walking through the vast, empty hallways, which felt haunted by a lingering sense of history and isolation. That night, King had a vivid nightmare about his young son being chased through the hotel by a possessed fire hose. He awoke from the nightmare in a cold sweat and stepped out onto the balcony to smoke a cigarette. As he stood there, staring out at the mountains and the sprawling hotel grounds, the full idea for The Shining came to him. He wrote about a family trapped in a haunted hotel, slowly driven to madness by the hotel's malevolent forces. While the Stanley Hotel is not the Overlook Hotel from King's novel, its architecture, isolation, and overall atmosphere clearly influenced the setting of The Shining. However, the hotel in the book and the 1980 film adaptation is much more sinister and violent than the real Stanley Hotel. Still, King's association with the Stanley permanently linked it to the horror genre. One of the most famous rooms at the Stanley Hotel is Room 217, the room where Stephen King stayed and which later became infamous in The Shining. However, the room had already earned a haunted reputation long before King's visit due to a real-life incident that occurred in 1911. In June 1911, the hotel experienced a massive gas leak during a thunderstorm. The head housekeeper, Elizabeth Wilson, was lighting lanterns in guest rooms when she entered room 217. Unbeknownst to her, the room had filled with gas, and when she struck a match, the room exploded. The explosion destroyed part of the second floor and sent Wilson through the floor into the dining room below. Miraculously, Elizabeth Wilson survived the blast, suffering only 2 broken ankles. She eventually returned to work and continued to serve at the hotel for many years. Following her death, guests began reporting strange activity in room 217. Many believe that Wilson's spirit still resides in the hotel, particularly in her former place of work. Unpacking of luggage, guests have reported returning to their room to find their suitcases mysteriously unpacked, with clothing neatly folded and arranged. Tidy housekeeping, visitors claim that their beds have been mysteriously made while they were out, despite the room not being serviced by staff. Ghostly presence, female guests often feel a gentle presence, as though someone is watching over them or even tucking them into bed at night. Many believe Wilson is a benevolent spirit, a lingering presence of the hotel's longtime housekeeper, who continues to ensure the rooms are in order. Haunted hotspots around the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel is known for having several paranormal hotspots throughout the property, each with its own stories of hauntings and ghostly activity. The hotel's 4th floor is notorious for its paranormal activity. Historically, this floor housed nannies, children, and female staff, and many of the ghostly encounters here seem to involve children. Visitors and staff have reported hearing the sounds of children running down the halls, laughing, and playing, even when there are no children present in the hotel. Others have heard footsteps and doors slamming, only to find empty hallways. Room 401, in particular, is a hotspot for strange occurrences. Some guests have reported seeing shadowy figures, hearing knocking sounds, and even feeling a cold presence. In one case, a closet door reportedly opens and closes by itself, unsettling those staying in the room. Room 428 is another infamous room on the 4th floor, where guests claim to have seen the apparition of a cowboy standing at the foot of their bed. Though this cowboy ghost is said to be friendly, his sudden appearances have startled many who have encountered him during their stay. The concert hall at the Stanley Hotel, built by Freeland Stanley as a gift to his wife Flora, is another active area for paranormal encounters. Flora Stanley, who loved music, is believed to still haunt the concert hall, especially around the piano. Guests and staff have heard the piano playing by itself late at night, though no one is in the room. It is said that Flora enjoys playing for the hotel guests long after her death. Another ghostly presence in the concert hall is Paul, a former handyman who is said to have worked at the hotel in the early 1900s. Paul was known for being strict about enforcing the hotel's closing hours, and his ghost is still said to patrol the concert hall, ensuring that guests adhere to the rules. Visitors have reported feeling a sudden pressure on their chests or hearing disembodied voices when lingering too long after hours. One of the newer ghost stories associated with the Stanley Hotel involves a young woman named Lucy. According to legend, Lucy was a homeless woman who took refuge in the hotel during its construction. When she was discovered in the concert hall's basement, she was forcibly removed from the property and died shortly thereafter from exposure. Today, Lucy's ghost is believed to linger in the basement of the concert hall, where she has been seen or sensed by visitors and paranormal investigators. People report hearing her singing or encountering strange pink lights or orbs in the area. Lucy is often regarded as a benevolent spirit, though her presence is unsettling for many who encounter her. The Stanley Hotel has become a popular destination for paranormal investigators and ghost hunters. Its history and reputation for hauntings have led to numerous TV shows filming episodes at the location, including Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and Most Haunted. Paranormal enthusiasts often visit the hotel to explore its haunted halls and attempt to capture evidence of supernatural activity. The Stanley Hotel offers ghost tours for guests and visitors, allowing them to explore the most haunted areas of the hotel, learn about its history, and hear first-hand accounts of ghostly encounters. The hotel even offers special events such as nighttime tours and overnight investigations, giving guests the chance to experience the Stanley's haunted history for themselves.